Hello there. This indescribable mess of parts on my desk right now is the Volks Oratorio Tangram Temjin. Allow me to show you how it goes together to an extent. We got the waist, some back skirts, which are in cross-shaped connections, which feel relatively secure. Maybe, they've gotten a little bit loose. Maybe I should glue these in. Side skirts, which are on single plastic ball joints, plastic on plastic, no polycap. Well, polycaps are plastic, but I think you know what I mean. So they come off pretty easily. Notice on the bottom, this is two halves. I had to use a little bit of putty. The legs are pretty interesting. You got a secondary ball joint on the back where the ankle armor goes. Oh man. Oh, there we go. It's pretty far forward and back. It's really far forward, actually. That side skirt feel on the right feels a lot tighter. And it just popped off. Yeah, you put skirts in after the legs. That's a much better idea. Let me just deal with the other leg. Since I haven't painted it, yet, and there are a lot of clear parts that go on that I haven't put in yet because I don't have clear paint on me. An example where they would go is right in the front of the thigh, on the sides of the knees, and in front of the ankle armor. I believe there's one that goes on the foot right here, I'm not sure. This feels kind of fragile. It's not a Bandai kit. You don't want to... Plastic doesn't feel like it can take as much punishment. And this leg does not want to go in. There we go. And put the side skirts back in. I don't have anything to scale it with close by, but this is already a little bit smaller than a master grid. And Volks does say on the box that this is 1/100th scale. So I guess that says Virturoids BRs are smaller than mobile suits. This feels a lot tighter than the other one for some reason. Front and back. We got some pretty... Oh man, that feels really loose. I think, yeah, I must have messed up building the joint a little bit. Knee goes like that. Pretty nice. So the knee itself is articulated a little bit. Let me see what's going on with the joint here. I feel like I'm going to rip this thing apart. I'm not very careful with my kits, and bad. Oh, that's great. It just popped out because I didn't cement it right, and now I can't pull it out, and oh my god, it's going to be a pain. I can fix that later. See, that one was fine. So the gray bit here goes onto the waist, and I put it in backwards. That plugs into the upper torso. And the upper torso itself is a nice little bit of that, twisted a bit, impeded by the side skirt joints. The arms are a bit of a pain, mostly because this ball here is a polycap, and you actually have a choice between a polycap and a hard plastic joint. Of course, I chose the polycap for some inexplicable reason. And the shoulder armor, the gray frame bit, is 2 halves. Not sure if you can see that mark there. It shows it's 2 halves. And the joint is in between those 2 halves. So when you plug the shoulder armor into that, it's a very loose connection. And it's also kind of hard to get it in. See, that's pretty loose. You see the arm is kind of permanently bent because that's just the way it's shaped. But you do get a nice bend, which enables it to do the perfect wing pose where he stabs his rifle into the ground and salutes you. So the rifle, you got three main parts. There's this middle part, plug it in sideways, boom. It's all gray because I put putty and shavings of the peg from the hand in there. See, what they expect you to do is build the hand around the handle of the rifle, so you will have a disembodied hand permanently attached to it. I didn't like that, so if I want to draw him holding the rifle like an actual rifle, I mean not draw, jeez. If I want to pose him with the rifle holding it, I'll use Funtac or something. Got a head here. There's also a neck joint that is in the box behind me that you have to put in after this Dreamcast shaped booster. You can't really see the details of the Dreamcast shape because this camera sucks, but it's on a hinge. It opens up. There's an optional CD shaped piece you can plug in there that I haven't dealt with yet, and that goes on the center of the back. Oh boy, not like that. Something like that. On the sides, you have two boosters that look quite a bit like the ones from the R1 from Super Robot Wars, or whichever one came first. Vertically, they open up 2 ways, and just like the shoulder armor, you have a choice between a polycap and a hard plastic joint. Go me, I chose the polycap again, so you got a bit of wiggle here. Let me see if I can show this. And it feels like it's going to break off. So choose the hard plastic joint if you choose to build this kit. Don't use the polycaps. There's this centerpiece of the booster and 2 side pieces that go in here, and they're hinged, so they're supposed to open up sideways. This is really annoying to do, and that's why I kept it apart. Where did I put the See, you got these 2 center pieces, and you hold them to the main booster piece with these tiny white pieces. See if I can do this without everything going crazy. No promises. I can't deal with this right now, I really can't. Okay, well, you've got that little peg, and it plugs in to that hole. And it goes over this part. Oh boy. Goes over that part, it comes down, and it opens up. It's a little loose. It actually pops out a little bit before you open up, and if you want it to stay in, you pop it back in, which is pretty cool. I've got quite a bit of painting to do. You see the color separation is only blue, gray, and white. Any of the orange, well, the instruction manual says yellow, but it looks pretty orange to me on all the artwork and in-game. Orange bits on the sides of the elbows, I'll have to paint all that in. All the clear parts I don't want to paint over, so I'm leaving them as they are. And I'll hit this thing with a coat of primer whenever I'm able to. And it's, as someone who has only straight built Bandai kits before, this is pretty tough. I haven't had to deal with cement or putty ever, so this is a lot of firsts for me. And I feel like there are a lot of places where I could have screwed up a lot worse than I did, which I'm really glad I didn't screw up even more. Actually, let me tell you something. When I was building the legs, I forgot to put in some parts in between, like this gray bit here which holds the ankle joint. So I had to pull the thing apart and cement it back together. And actually I believe it was, yep, it was this one, because you probably can't see it. It's a little bit wider than the other one. It's not very good. I don't know how you would be able to see it without looking at it in person, but it's pretty obvious that one is just a little bit wider than the other. I believe the same thing happened with the shoulders. I think this is a lot more noticeable though. If I put them on top of each other, see, one is quite a bit wider than the other. I guess it'll be a little harder to notice if I'm looking at it from an angle. But that's part of the learning process, I guess. Thanks for watching if you did watch it, which I'm assuming you did. And I'll be back after I've primed it, and then I'll be painting it. Stay tuned.